Hello, everybody. How's it going?
Howdy, howdy.
Welcome to another Fireside Dev Chat.
Yeah, indeed.
We are Skyward Court.
I am indeed.
You are awesome.
You are.
So, how you doing? I apologize for the background hiss. We have the fans going because it's kind of
97 degrees.
Yeah, it's kind of hot today. And by kind of hot, I mean, oh my god.
Yeah.
It's 93.
Hence I'm rocking the bandana styly.
Yeah.
Keep the sweat off the brow.
Oh, for sure. While out hard at work.
Exactly.
Hair out of my face, all that kind of stuff.
Hey, thanks for the host up here.
Okay. Oh, nice. Oh, yeah. Those guys at DOP Crew, man, really cool fellows.
So you guys want to do a status update?
Absolutely. I'd love to do a stand-up. Am I going first? Or I have a bunch of category stuff to throw out like I usually do.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'll go first then.
All right.
I'll
You went
probably
first last
the
time.
shortest.
I usually do. And then I forget, and then I say things while you're talking, and I say things while he's talking.
Right, exactly.
And that's why you shouldn't play with fidget spinners
Should
while
fidget
on the stream.
spinner.
It's like playing with your phone.
It is the most... It's a stop. It's
No,
you know?
there's a new spinner. in
Hail
town.
the elders. Every time it spins, it says a prayer to the elders.
I don't think that's true.
Alright.
No.
It's a little bit more sheriffy
the
star.
elders.
It's a little bit more sheriffy star.
Yeah, it is kind of a sheriffy star.
Yeah. Like I said, there's a new spinner in town.
There's a new spinner in town. 8 room.
11-pointed
No,
fidget spinner.
7-pointed. Yeah, the universal septagram spinner.
That would be kind of dope, though. I would own one of those.
Yeah, that's actually the unholy YouTuber,
Yeah.
Jack Septagram.
I'd embed like LEDs along the leading edges so that you could do persistence of vision stuff.
I saw one with LEDs on it yesterday. it was plastic and cheap, and I just actually wasted my money on this one, so I didn't buy another.
I couldn't get a Raspberry Pi that's small enough, or like an Arduino small enough. But it'd be cool to do that.
Yeah, inside, so it gives it persistence of vision. Like it is 5 o'clock.
Yeah, exactly.
Happy faces, emojis.
Pixel drawing. Yeah, exactly.
It's true.
It's not 11
It's
footer.
true.
He can't go to 11. That's true. But he can go to 14. You spin it.
Oh, yeah. And there's a mirror in the room too.
Sure. Well, then it would be like 28.
Something like that. So what have you been up to this week?
Mostly I worked on code for Dude.
Our twin stick fantasy shooter.
Exactly, our twin stick shmup. I worked on Death, which led me to needing a loading screen. So I worked on a loading screen.
Saw that.
And I worked on a little tip system for the loading screen, so that it'll do the,
Yep, with subversive tips.
Yeah, well, it does tip and counter tip, which I thought was kind of funny, right? So, like, it'll go, a believing heart is your magic, except you suck.
Yep. Believe in yourself and you'll make it. Unless you're terrible.
Right, except that you aren't worth believing in, They're really mean. Well, I mean, the tips actually aren't that bad. My examples are really mean, but the idea is that the counter tips come from the bad guys, so they're discouragements instead of encouragement.
Yeah. I wonder if some way, feature creep time, you could take counter tips from the audience.
Well, that would be rad. You could do that. That would be pretty easy.
Yeah, just pay for tip and then take whatever they...
Yeah, just as a command.
Yep.
Yeah. There are reasons why you might not want to do that.
Yeah, well, there are
but you
things
could.
that,
Well, at least for not us.
If I could make it take bits,
But
maybe
for-
people wouldn't mind.
But for maybe the crew, I have seen more than one WebM or GIF of a streamer who then got very popular because some verbose and
Somebody rated
salacious
them.
shit was just said. No, just said on the thing, and then they captured it as a clip of them just like laughing out loud because what they said was so terrible and they couldn't like play the game anymore because it was like terrible and
Wow,
hilarious.
yeah.
And then they put it up on 9gag or something like that, and it really boosts popularity because it's like, oh, you're that guy who laughed at that terrible thing that you let be said on your...
That's great.
It's
Yep,
totally
wonderful.
great.
So actually, I got
That's why you shouldn't.
Here's
do
how
that.
you do. No, God, there's no way you could give them a UI. If you give them a UI, you could make it confidential and they just click buttons like Toontown's text.
Though you could do things like block words and stuff.
Yeah, sure.
Oh,
so
yeah.
that it had to be sanitized.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, or
Oh,
asterisk
but
space.
Sail
or
Kite's
whatever.
on. See, I told you. Sail Kite's on board with me. verbal abuse as a
It's my
feature.
stream,
I
and
like
I'ma
it.
spin if I want to.
Weren't you and I just agreeing last time we talked about Friday the 13th that the all chat was totally an ace feature of it, that it really didn't it didn't break immersion, and that the verbal abuse that happened generally between the killer and the players was actually something great.
You've played Dead by Daylight with Serb.
Oh yes, I have.
Indeed. I also did some Teleston stuff. I created a RIS stance, or a RIS style with two stances.
Yes.
Yep. We
absolutely.
need to come up with a fictional name, an in-lore name.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
that's on me.
Absolutely.
I'm saying
I wanted to talk to both you and you about combat style that Jonathan has, cloak and sword, man, because he is somewhat of a Ponce boy and he likes the idea of that.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
That's a cool style. We haven't done that one yet either.
Yeah.
We have a need for like 10 bazillion combat styles.
Right, stances.
If you guys have, well, not just stances, but
styles, yeah.
right? So if you guys have suggestions, by all means, float them our way on our Discord. I'm pretty sure there isn't
no?
actually. No. Well, if you do bang Teleston, there's probably one there.
I bang Teleston.
Bang Teleston. Here, I'll do it. Bam! Just like that.
There we go.
Yeah, there you go. Second to last link there is the Discord. If you go and you can give us some suggestions there, and we will probably work on them, because we need to make a lot of them.
We need to make a lot of them, and suggestions are cool, and we like when you participate with us.
Especially with the cliffhanger ending.
Right, exactly. I also did a little bit of rework of the combat system. Nothing major.
No, I was reading Player's Guide.
Me too.
Yeah, but just to make a little bit more sense to everybody. I took out a couple things that were kind of complex. And I doubt anyone will miss them, so we'll see. Stance cards
Are now.
Do you know how they have the quarters?
Yes.
That really at this point is kind of more of a suggestion than anything else. It doesn't really mean anything.
Right.
Right. That was the big change.
Likewise, you made them, 75% larger?
75%. They're actually now going to go into the book as stance pages, so that on one side, if you look at them as a book, right, on one page would be all of the like textual information, so that it's all broken down in lists with some cool flavor text and stuff. And then on the other side will be the stance diagram that we have now, but blown up to fit the whole page, so that it's significantly more readable and all that.
Yeah, it really was a matter of...
They'll go into the book that way. I mean, you can print them, and you can print them that way front and back.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But they won't be like cards. But part of the reason that we can do that is because the alignment of the card doesn't matter as much. I actually still have to remove that from the combat section. In fact, that's still what's left to do.
Absolutely.
But that's the plan, and that's what I've been working on in that regard. Also, on the companion app, I did some more work on the UI. In fact, I streamed it, so you guys saw that. Basically all day last Thursday, that was what I was doing.
Yep.
And then this weekend, I worked on doing some more. Otherwise, it was mostly trying to find us a new client.
I've been doing some of that
I have
myself.
sent so many letters.
Yeah, I've gotten 2 letters back this week that were like, clearly, hey, I just got back from E3 and got your letter, and no, we're not going to hire you this time.
Sure, which is better than nothing.
Better than nothing, right? Hey, that's an echo back. That's a, hey, I read your thing and clicked your website. Thank you guys, whoever you were, for that. One of them was a...
Gintronics?
Yep, Gintronics was one. I think they were both European companies, actually. But yeah, so it's cool on you guys.
Buddy, I find people you guys already know. Like, I thought Gintronics
been in the
was,
industry for a
still
long
reaching, and so I
time.
didn't, they're European countries. So.
I actually sent them a letter this
company.
morning, not knowing that person or something.
Yeah. I mine Gamma, and I mine the recruiter emails I get.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pro tip.
Anyway.
Whatever does it for you.
Exactly. But yeah, those have been my big pushes, and that's been what I've been working on.
Sweet.
I'm afraid to check in all of my changes on Dude right now, because you can't die right yet. So I'm afraid that you'll get a loading screen that never goes away.
Oh no.
Don't want that.
Right. So I'm like,
That will put a crimp in my testing.
Maybe I'll double check that before I check that in. But that's where I'm at right now. It's all basically done, but I gotta test it and check it back in. I was running into weird crashes basically all day yesterday, so I haven't had a really good chance to do so. It kept locking up on me. Maybe it was heat. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
I'm blaming heat. I've been having heat problems.
Me too.
I mean, anyone watching my stream last night saw that. heat problems at the end.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's totally heat issues because I've likewise been experiencing some issues as well. Yeah, I have a LinkedIn.
Yeah, of course.
that's
I've had a LinkedIn profile for over a decade.
The reason why I don't actively help these guys when they're looking for clients is because I have LinkedIn and Google.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, Google.
Yeah, actually, we usually we don't have to go looking for clients the way that we are right now. Usually, clients are really a matter of, hey, we're available, and then one of the many people we've talked to or worked with in the past will be
It's
like,
oh, I can use that.
or hey, let me point you to these guys. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've been really lucky that way so far. This time we really had to like pound the pavement hard, though. It kind of sucks, but yeah, LinkedIn, God, Indeed, all kinds of places. Anywhere that you can think of where people connect for business, I've been sniffing around looking.
Yep. I've even checked out Craigslist.
Man, I was sending letters to universities.
Nice.
Yeah, actually, we're supposed to be looking into something with the local makerspace too, but that's just like a
Gig.
few hours. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
gig. But they're
Still
looking
a
for
cool gig.
they're looking for game design advocates and instructors for their
Yeah.
programs. I gotta talk to Mr. Kreichel about that. I have his phone number.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I haven't talked to Marcus in a while.
Well, I talked to him about a month and a half ago about this. So
Sweet. All right, for me, recently, because of some advice given to me by writer dude, lore master, the process of finishing part 2 of the Mercenary and Matchmaker has been actually expedited
use the link.
quite a lot. And that's because I'm splitting it in half, and the thing that was blocking me from pushing forward and just finishing it was an event that happened after where I decided to split this story and just add another part to the entire thing. And so, soon, like, I want it to be soon, I will have a rough draft that I will feel comfortable giving to the both of you after the last time we did this process and you guys, said when to get a thing to a certain level and then give it to you.
Mhm.
I think I'll be able to hand that to you, like, soon.
Sweet.
TM, soon, Verde. Soon, like next week. Or soon. Yes.
Cool.
Anyway, I've also have an interview for a job tomorrow, which, that's like, woo, but for me, that's like a first time thing ever kind of ordeal, and so I thought that was worth mentioning because I'm doing that tomorrow so I can become a courtesy clerk. I have a other term for that.
Yeah,
but,
there's a highbrow, academic term that people apply to that one.
Grocery bitch?
No, that's actually that's taxonomy. Yeah,
vulgar.
no. Bagger.
Yes. But I also applied for the deli, and the deli was my first application there. I actually applied deli first, then courtesy clerk. And the
Union
manager
likes to start you at the bottom.
The manager actually said because of when I applied, she had already gone through a whole bunch of deli people. That because I was tail end to that she didn't get to see my application, and so next time a deli opportunity rolls up, I'm actually at the top of her stack, and because I'm maybe going to be getting a job there already, that means that she's already talked to me at length about it on the phone.
And you'll already
she could move me on over
That's
to
how
the
they do
deli, which pays more, get some more stuff there, and then they have a courtesy clerk job open, and that's really fucking Pono. I like that. And I have some questions about Kongarai, but we can sort of like save that for other things for question time. These questions will actually totally help add little bits of detail for my story, just to make it that much more in depth, as if it is a story taking place in the Kongarai of Ombo's mind.
Not so much the.
Yeah.
It's okay.
What? Come on.
Not so much the Kongarai on the map as the Kongarai in my mind.
Well, there is no map of Kongarai.
Yet.
Yet. That's
Is that a segue?
Yeah, I think that might be a segue.
Is that a segue?
Is that a segue?
Is it? I'm asking you a question.
I don't know. You haven't given us your status.
Are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
You're done. Well, it's time for
Damn,
my
it
status
was a
update. It
segue.
wasn't a segue. Wow.
See you roll.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a segue. Okay, this week, I've done a few things. I developed some for the playtest, which we need to reschedule. We're gonna put that little pin in that. I have recreated some cool stuff because I heard that the couriers here in the real world are perhaps not the best. So I made a redux of the cool stuff. Everybody gets new cool stuff that got cool stuff in the first place. Likewise, this cool stuff, I don't know if you can see it react on the camera, but there is quite a bit of
alchemical process.
Yes,
put into
exactly.
it.
There's some magic, some magery in here that you will see if you can hit them with a black light and stick them in the dark, or actually any light will charge them.
Deno magic?
I put glow in the dark in quite a few, not all, but quite a few of the. Oh yeah, next. Yeah, I put glow in the dark in quite a few of the flowers. So a lot of these will glow in the dark. And I'm going to package them differently when I send them. I'm going to package them in cardboard tubes. Crush resistant. And again, mark these, please don't fucking machine them, and we'll see what they do. Anyway, so
Glass
flowers for the patrons. If you are not a patron, you don't get a flower.
Ooh, drugged.
But if you are
Poisoned?
then you get more. Fumed. Yeah, some of them actually are fumed. So
Oh, yes.
you can kind of tell. This one has silver, like literal silver foil in the glass,
I see.
as does this one.
Mhm.
And then most of the ones with the translucency have some amount of glow-in-the-dark powder in the glass. And I've tested them in my room, and they're pretty ethereal. Looks pretty rad. I used like a blue-green, like an aqua sea green. So it's good shit. Anyway, those will be going out this week to everybody that already got one, or you know who you are. You're on our patron list. If you're not a patron, then, you should become a patron. You get cool stuff in the mail. Another thing I did this week is finalize my photo appointment. Tomorrow, I'm having a photographer come and take digital pictures of the map to be delivered to the printer, which is another thing I did this week, is nail down the printer and nail down our deal with the printer for our patron maps.
Actually, pretty dope.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, I don't know if I should reveal or if it should just happen. You should just get it and open it up and be like, holy shit, but no, it turns out that I'm going to be able to print the first run of patron maps at full size on canvas. So that's how we're going to do that.
Map canvas.
Hopefully this guy comes through. I'm going to see him, I think, day after tomorrow is when I meet with him to drop off the digital and see his examples of his product.
Canvas.
But he knew exactly what I was talking about. I gave him the project and he was like, do it like this. This is how we're, and he not only priced it out well, everyone else I've described it to, I've been like, okay, it's 22 inches by 30 inches. It's, I did it all. It's a piece of artwork that I'm going to take a digital picture of, a high quality, a large digital picture, and deliver that to you. How would you like to print it? And they're all like, well, we can put it on like poster paper with a glossy finish. I'm like, it's a map. And they were like, oh, well, maybe you'd like matte paper, but then you'd have to ship it flat. And I'm like, This dude was like, okay, I'm going to price this out at this price point. And I was like, wow, that's great. But is that for paper? Because that's got to be quality paper at that price point. And he's like, oh, no. If you're doing a map that you want people to put up on their wall and like frame and hang, it's got to be canvas, man. You want this canvas. And I was like, oh, you're the shop.
Exactly.
So,
and it's legit canvas too. Like when
Yeah.
you say matte paper or something, I have to shake my fingers at this.
it's actually
Skyrim
a matte
people.
coating. What they actually do is they put a matte coating on
Printed
top
on
of the print.
paper.
Yeah,
Yeah.
freaking
Yeah.
Skyrim promised me canvas, right? I can show you the material, and so can everybody else who bought a special edition of Skyrim. Shit ain't canvas. That shit is matte paper. Just like that shit that everybody else was offering you.
Yeah, well. Anyway, so I did a lot
Real
of business wheelie dealy stuff this week. I send people letters. Finalize my photography appointment tomorrow. Finalize the printer, Canvas Bruh. if it all comes out really
Can't
nice, I'll
whisper.
include the dude's business card in your thing so that he gets words. But I'm not gonna give him word fame until he puts out. Likewise, I made a bunch of glass, and I'm gonna be sending that stuff out. I wrote some stuff for the campaign. We got to reschedule that. See, pin. And I worked on hexes for Dude. Not as much as I'd like to, but that's because I was slinging Cuban sandwiches on the food truck to make ends meet in the meantime. Yesterday, those in our Discord got to see a fun picture of me with my hair all braided up and my beard braided and a bead in it. It was pretty cool because I was working the truck. So that was cool. I sent that popper out, and we discussed some business dealings, some ideas
Yeah.
to drive finance. So, things. Actually, it's actually
In the
pretty
works.
cool, and I think that everybody involved would get more out of it. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
No.
win-win. It's all positive.
Yeah. I just don't know if we're ready to talk about it yet.
No.
It's just an idea. at this
Yeah,
point, but
teasing.
we have a thought.
Yeah, I think it might be a good one. I'm behind it, I think.
As am I.
Oh! I also
Haha.
dug out the manual for my synthesizer, sequencer, drum machine, music production hardware that I used to know how to use.
You should put, when you start making
I
music...
used to know how to use this thing really, really well.
When you start making music, you should put, like, Hadric code inside of it for Telestonians.
So it will drive them mad when they listen to it?
No, well, yes, but no, I mean so that they can, learn secrets about Teleston within your music through a harmonic deciphering of code.
I don't know how I'd do that. I think I'd have to go a little mad first.
No, you'd use math, and then you would take the math into some arbitrary code that you may or may not have already made, and then you would represent the, and you'd get deciphering. That you would use harmonics for. I think I might do
Audio
this.
steganography.
See, or that.
Steganography.
Yeah. Or maybe that's what I'm talking about, and I'm just too ignorant. But Sailgate
No, I
seems
knew
to
you
get
would,
it.
yeah.
You know what, though? I think all of your music should employ frontwise masking.
Oh yes.
Frontwise masking?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay. We'll make sure of that. And doubly? Should I record it in doubly?
Absolutely. Well, only if it's heavy metal, though.
You should also hide images.
It's not gonna be.
Inside your music too, like in every
Dude, there's images
album?
in everything I do.
No, I mean in every like that thing that you guys did for that one rapper from the West Coast. Yeah, that he did with the secret song. Except you should put an
East
image
Coast.
into it. That's an East Coast rapper.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because it's a stoop sound.
Well, and
Meticulously concealed secret trip.
Yeah.
That guy.
Yes, in fact, that guy. You should do stuff like that. It'd be cool.
that too. Ghosts
That's
in the music.
That's spectral.
Spectra. Spectra. Oh, and I learned Oscillab, which is a step sequencer on my phone. Because I was sitting in my car waiting for the food truck to arrive, and I'm like, all right, I guess I'm sitting here. I can do some work.
Let's make some music.
It's got to make work, must produce
Let's
things
begin to
all
make the sounds.
Yes. Let's have a journey into my phone.
Be nice.
Quiet,
to the
you.
bot. She tries so hard. The bot.
Friendly,
Mhm.
helpful.
I know. That's why I was telling Lake to be nice to the bot.
She's
She
doing
tries so
upgrade
hard.
too, really. No time.
Time.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Nope. So yeah, I think that's my
Speaking of time,
that's my work week. What time is it?
I believe it was a time of questions.
Oh yeah.
Seeking answers. The people turn their eyes.
So yeah.
It's question time. Come on, tell your friends.
And we got any questions?
Ah, I do. About Conquer.
Let's hear them.
Yes. So you've had time to think, and I've already asked you this question, right? What's the mortality gate situation at Congarai City proper like?
Well, so it's kind of cool. Because actually, I got to think about it a little before I answered, so you didn't, enshrine anything in fiction that I didn't want.
Yeah.
And we get to do something interesting in that when we had an MMO, you had to have a mortality gate in all of these core cities because it was gameplay necessary.
Yeah.
You know?
Really, two, but yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Kongarai was one of them.
Correct.
Lore-wise, there wouldn't necessarily have to be one there, and maybe there wasn't one there. Maybe there's a reason that there isn't one there.
Yes.
Know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, I don't have to have one there because we're not making an MMO, we're making a pen and paper, and I can in fact write a story and perhaps say that I think, and correct me if you've heard other stories, but I don't think that there is a mortality gate in Kongarai, and I think it makes the city more interesting that there isn't. And I think instead there are a few locations outside of Kongarai in the desert where mortality gates come and go, as mortality gates do come and go.
Have been seen.
Been seen. So people do return, they just have to wander back in out of the desert.
If they make it.
If they make it, or if they don't do something else somewhere else. And remember, this wasn't always all desert.
Yeah, that gate probably shows up in other parts of the continent that you may not
want to
go
be,
to
or maybe,
yeah.
Exactly. So that was my answer there. No, there isn't a gate in Kongarai. There are wandering gates that sometimes pop up near.
Yeah. One of the things we've never described is how the gates wander.
That's true. We haven't.
I always imagined it was 80s style kind of
Actually,
kind of
Yep.
yes, exactly, something
But
like that,
no.
and something falls out of a pool of light or something like that,
Blue.
and then
It's gotta be blue.
explodes.
unless it's red, but yeah, exactly.
No, because before
If it's red, times are bad.
It can't have been blue at first in the older shows because they used blue screen before they used green screen, and blue would fuck up the effect.
Actually,
No, in the old shows it was white light.
Well, yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I said. White light. So you'd come out of a pool
So you're talking
of
Quantum
white light.
Leap at that point.
Yes, that's exactly what I was saying.
Yeah,
I was
but
talking,
we're going previous to Quantum Leap, and actually it would be green because green or monochrome was usually what kind of monitor you could afford, unless you were at the lab where they actually had some VGA. The VGA?
No.
CGA.
Yeah.
CGA. At which point it was blue with a white border, little purpley pink flecks.
Yep, if you're lucky.
Interesting. But no, it's not like that. Because so far, I've imagined that sometimes,
I agree with that,
and there
like-
are certain people who I've imagined in Telestons, poor souls, who are
Exactly.
like, I made it to the gate, right? And they jump out, and it's just like this white light comes through, and they pop out on top of a mountain, Terry Pratchett style, and the thing closes behind them, and they're like, fuck! It was a traveler! Or something like that.
More
Yeah.
commonly they travel. It's actually more common.
Yeah, and also remember they're a 1-to-1.
Yeah. Oh,
Right.
So it would be there.
You
yeah.
would know where you were,
Right.
roughly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you would have a
Yeah.
a
I forgot
visual
about that.
indication
So
of where
you wouldn't jump out on the mountain. You'd be like, no, there's
This is a
gate
mountain,
there,
and here
but
I am."
There's a mountain.
Right.
Gross.
It depends on your circumstance. You might pass it up.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. That makes it even more interesting.
But yeah, I think Lake has it too, right? Like the death matters more on that continent if coming back is harder.
Right. Well, yeah, it's at least less assured where you're going to be because there are
And
no,
it's
there are no fixed
more
gates.
of a torment no matter what.
Yeah,
right?
because
Like-
now you've got to come. Yeah, exactly. Especially since the place is so ravaged at this point.
But yeah, I was mentioning that we've never described how gates travel. But to be fair, we've also never really described how gates look.
Appear.
Nah, yeah.
Um,
Which is something brought up by my description.
are they like
Oblivion gates?
geysers in that, you know, they show up periodically, they're not always there?
Yes, that was my thought. And I think that they're not directly visible like a blue cube, you know, or I guess it was only square because it had to be pixels. But, you know, nor do I think that they have architecture necessarily.
No, so things are.
So I
left
think when they have
behind
architecture, it's usually because someone had used the architecture
To bind them.
to bind
bind
them.
them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So it's not even. The Oblivion gate idea is totally out to them because even though Oblivion gates could travel, they left behind architecture of there was a gate here at one point.
Right.
Either it was closed or it moved on.
Right.
We know there was a gate here because of these weird claws that came out.
Exactly.
Yeah, you see him in Skyrim. Yeah. Empty claws. If you're wizened, you know that that's from the living crisis.
Exactly.
But so, no, they're not like that. So, is it something that you would have to, like, see? Is it like, was it a Twilight Zone episode where the girl fell behind the shelf? Or is it under her bed? And then, right? Would it be a thing where...
Poltergeist episode?
Yeah, where you would have to, like, know how to see that way in order to know there's a gate right there, then in the realm,
I think there
Anima's
was
realm,
probably
you can see
a
it.
visual disturbance on the Prime, but not a visible, not a plainly visible outline. Like maybe a discontinuity or a shift.
Something I keep on wanting to call
ripple.
a fourth dimensional sort of rift or line or something.
I think if you're looking, you can you can see it.
If it's not
on Anima's side, I think it's clear.
Right.
Okay.
If it's not emitting light of its own, then what you'd see is probably some kind of lensing, like a warping.
That's what I was expecting. Yeah.
Okay.
Likewise, in an MMO, you can do that with it.
Interesting.
Texture.
Does that mean, like, if it were to appear in, like, a sewer or a cave, you might not even notice that it's right there because it's dark and thus you can just walk through it?
Potentially, yeah.
Okay.
Seems like it.
Yeah.
That might even explain how people disappear sometimes.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. No,
Right.
I kind of like that because if
not
it's
only that,
something
you
can't-
might pursue a heat distortion effect thinking it's a gate.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So
In the
mirages
hopes that,
are so much more
Anima's
terrible
realm
now.
will be easier to pass than the desert.
Oh.
Oh no! Can you imagine that being
Yeah, I can
somebody
see
on
that.
the Prime,
Yeah.
right? And you're like, oh, I see out in the distance there's an Anima's gate all around. We need to camp. We can't. The gate has traveled. We can't move
Right.
on. We might walk into a gate and disappear, right? And so, needlessly, you camp in the middle of the desert unless you're wizened to maybe what that is, and maybe you starve and die because you camped in the middle of the goddamn desert. Or, maybe you move on anyway for some reason, or you move on at night because you don't see it then.
Yeah,
That's a little terrible.
And so, I also think that there are places where they commonly, where over time people know that they appeared.
Yeah, I always imagined that you could chart them like ocean currents or weather phenomena.
Yes.
Or,
I think so too.
If you were wizened.
Well, if you took a lot of samples, a lot of data.
Yeah.
Right? And
Yeah.
Everybody remembers the time when there was one here, and then they remember that it moved after this much time, and then this correlates with this story where every
it's
10
a tough
years
problem
it's
to
here.
come up with real knowledge with, though, because
It
you
all
would
has to
have
be
to know how
observation.
many gates there were, how
Right.
many moved,
Right.
how often they moved. Like, it would take lifetimes of study.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's a global issue.
Right. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
an
so you only
aspect
have a
of
piece of the
telescope.
problem.
Like it's not a
Telescope.
it's not a thing that happened during the fall or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a piece of the planet.
Right.
Well,
How
when I
things
mean
work.
Teleston, I meant Greyshore. You only have a piece of the...
Well,
problem
here
on
they
Greyshore.
do. Yeah, you would have to sail the whole world though and find all the rest
Yeah.
of them, and measure how they moved, and correlate all of your
Right.
data, and So yes, and there are wives' tales about it.
What I really find cool about the traveling gate thing is you can have that episode or that moment in Record of Lodoss War, or even in Tolkien-esque Mirkwood Forest, except in Record of Lodoss War they took it like you went to a new place. But if you remember the episode where the group has to pass through a forest in order to basically outmaneuver all of these other people to get somewhere really quickly, but the forest is the Fey Wood or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe this wood just has a mortality portal that moves around in a small area in the forest that people wander into, and so they disappear inside the forest, or other things like that. And
Yeah, that's what-
maybe there are people who can pass through the forest. I don't know. You have potential for story there. I like the opportunity.
Absolutely.
Likewise, I think the fact that they can move and can be fixed in place opens up the possibility that they can be summoned,
Right.
which is interesting.
Interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
Could you open one by demand, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Call
if there's
one.
evidence that that's ever been done, but the possibility clearly exists.
Yeah, absolutely.
Interesting
Well,
study.
maybe, actually, Snipe Hunter, now that you think about it, there are more travelers that we know of than there are set in place
Yeah.
gates.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's more likely that the set in place gates were either summoned or captured after a, oh, it appeared right there, let's capture it because we know how. That, I don't know, that seems very unlikely. Occam's razor might suggest that, they summoned it there and they tracked it there.
Maybe.
I'm just saying that it with what you've said, if the theory is floating out there, I could see a group
Given
of
that-
people who
right.
think that.
Given that it's not common for people to summon gates, it might be more likely that they picked a location where gates are likely to appear when they built their apparatus.
Interesting.
Yep. Or
Yeah.
or built a snare.
Now that I think about it, the people who think my thing are the
Right, so
are
they
the
want to
same.
begin.
Rather
Like,
than
they can't
summoning it,
initiate
they
the gate, but once
Catch it as it passes by,
Yeah.
so to speak.
Now that I'm thinking about it, the guys who are saying what I suggested are probably those same doomsayers who are like, and the ancient world was better. They had magics and technologies that would madden us and, make harvests appear and, oh, you're crazy old man.
Yeah, part of the problem, in fact, with Telestin is that people don't believe the old world with all of its wonders was better.
Ah.
Yeah.
Well, because that's actually started the fall, yeah.
Right, well,
and
there's
Broggian teaching goes
There's the
directly
whole
against that.
section of stories, the Fall of Kings stories,
Yeah.
that kind of talk about the end of the old days, right?
Yeah,
And
how
they're not
terrible it was.
flattering stories.
No, they're dark.
morals. In fact, they're fables, right? They're about how not to be those people and make that happen again. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So no, I bet you that you would be the crazy old man with
Yeah.
that opinion. You know?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly, Lake. Exactly.
Indeed. Any other questions?
Oh,
You have any
Um,
questions?
I wanted ideas
Mm-hmm.
of local organizations or just groups in Kongarai.
Do what?
Anything.
Don't
Just don't. Okay.
plan it.
Planet.
Don't scattergun it. Yeah.
Okay.
I was gonna tell you about the guys that cut ice on the sea, somewhere, and then
Sea
ship
ice.
ship it down to.
There's a glacier now?
And well, they use it specifically so that they can use the milk of the Kongarai goat, or sorry, camel, the Kongarai.
There are no dromedaries on.
No, it was they were.
It's actually the gamel. It's this goat.
No, we
camel
talked about it.
hybrid.
We talked
There
about
are no
They're not
dromedaries.
dromedaries. They're alpacas, right?
Yeah.
So they use
Can
their
you
milk.
milk an alpaca?
I'm sure you can milk an alpaca.
Actually-
You can a Kongarai alpaca. You can.
Okay.
So they milk their Kongarai llama, and they use their sea ice to make ice cream. And it's like considered it's a delicacy, but you can only get it in this one place because how else are you going to ship it? You can't move it once you make it.
Well, that actually helps with my whole intrigue about honey and the mead brewer.
See, they want the honey, to make their ice cream.
Okay. Actually, are there any mercenary groups or something? For
I have not seen
armed
Kyoto.
individuals who have been there for a while.
Hold on a second. I'm trying to read Zero's story.
An ennui.
Yeah, and absolutely zero.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
We don't remember, as modern Telestonans, they don't remember why Kongarai is Kongarai or anything like that.
Right.
But they all still hold the paranoia that maybe resulted from whatever caused Kongarai to be what Kongarai is.
Yes.
Are there any armed groups that have been there and civilized?
Well, aren't there the Altboars?
The Old Boars came there eventually.
Everyone came there.
Except for the locals that gathered around.
The locals that lived there
Yeah.
didn't live
The locals that
there.
live there aren't locals.
Right.
Because the locals know better.
Right.
Yeah. Oh. Okay.
Right. If you were a real, like a real Scotsman,
Yeah.
you wouldn't live in there. That's a temple.
Yeah.
To some.
Yeah.
Your desire to live there shows a disrespect to the people that...
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. So no.
Yeah.
Everyone in Congarai is a transplant.
Yeah. So I remember how... This is the thing that confuses me too, because I thought that people came and they found some people, and some people who were there also said okay because they were the ones who
but
forgot
those people
shit.
were squatting the ruins as well. Is
Yeah.
what he's saying.
Well, yeah,
They
yeah.
had lost
They're
their
not
history.
Locals.
That
Yeah.
doesn't mean that my question's out of the...
No, what it does mean is that everybody who lives in Congarai came there.
Well, yes, but some were found squatters who would then be considered locals by the people who came from Greyshore, in the same way that, you know, the Anasazi are considered locals to historians who came to Colorado and the natives who told them about them. The Anasazi had recently, well, not recently we discovered, but they were migratory and then they built a city there. So are they native to Colorado, or were they native from wherever they came from and then planted themselves in Colorado? The people who were found squatting there?
It's not the same question.
No. Are there any organized groups that were found there?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Who came from the stars? The Goravi?
The Anasazi.
Oh, the Anasazi. Oh, I've heard that tale. I've heard.
Yes.
I've heard tell.
That's what they said.
Didn't they?
Well, there's some evidence
The
that
Goravi
people
followed
who are
the
like
stars.
those people
Well, I mean, didn't we all
migrated.
technically?
Yes,
Sure.
we are. Star stuff.
Yeah, more pedantic. Yes.
Star stuff.
So, of the squatters that were found there, none of them were organized?
They were tribal groups.
Okay, so they were organized.
Families.
Yes.
Yeah,
Or have
he
any...
doesn't mean tribal groups in the way that you mean tribal groups.
Yeah, not like
he doesn't mean tribal
like
groups
they
in
didn't.
the...
Yeah, not
Yeah,
like
when he says families, that's more an accurate description.
Yeah.
Yeah, families
Yeah.
and extended families. You know,
Yeah.
family plus uncles, aunts.
When people came to Congarai, it wasn't a city. It was
Yeah.
a campground.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. It wasn't even a shanty town. It was
No,
a campground.
it was a campground by a spring. Well, lots of springs.
Well, yeah, because
Right.
this... Yes. It was a squat.
But not long term.
Yeah, not in the sense that you might think of it today.
Yeah, not a
Modern
homeless
Congarai
camp.
is more of a squat than Congarai was when people found it.
Okay.
Congarai at the time
Yeah.
was a dusty stone ruin with a couple of families living in it. Right? It's not.
Kind of like the Roman Colosseum was for a long time. No?
Kind of, but separate the Colosseum by like 1,000 miles of desert from everything else.
So wouldn't that be the only place people squatted, unless you were
No,
one of
because
those
everybody
weirdos?
else lives somewhere else. It's where the
Yeah.
people that nobody else wants go.
Yeah. Well, it was.
Okay, that makes sense now.
Because there's nowhere else for them to go.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and I know that all of or at least the two towns that I know of are all migrants who came there and either found the swamp somewhat inviting, right, and they found business there.
There's a place you could park a boat.
Exactly. Exactly. And then the people up here are the people who accept shipments and bring them into. So that might even be the traditional landing ground or something. Like, I don't even know.
Ancient Goravi people were migrant.
I don't mean
migrants.
I don't mean
were,
the traditional landing ground of ancient Goravi people. I
Okay.
mean the landing ground of the people who came to
That's what I'm
Goravi
looking
because
for.
they
Is
were
that
like,
migrant?
we know of this ruin that's here.
There's a
and
word
for what?
I don't live anywhere. I move from place
Nomad?
to place. Yeah, nomadic is close. Like tenor.
Yeah, but more like on a cycle.
But it's on a cycle, right?
Nomad.
If you know better, you
Mongols.
know where they'll be.
Yeah, so
like,
it's
like
nomadic.
kinda, yeah, so I guess nomadic. Yeah, I'll go with
No,
nomadic.
because even the nomadic tribes
I
of
don't
North
mean the
America
yeah, I don't mean the
followed
golden-
the cycle of
Right.
the
Yeah,
buffalo.
I
So.
don't mean the Golden Horde either. I just mean, Mongolian.
Yeah, you mean the hunts.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, sorry.
Or is it the
Yeah.
Lakota that went to different locations
At different times.
in the
They
Black
also do
Hills
that too,
based
yeah.
on the constellations
Yeah,
around.
those were who I was talking
it's
about
the
because
Lakota.
they followed.
That's what I based the original Goravi people, their life pattern on was that Lakota. I have a book about that we got up in South Dakota.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. So I had known of those riders in the desert who somehow get horses and they bother the people who have come to Kongarai now. And I didn't realize the state of decrepitude that Kongarai was in. Because it was a spring, I thought when the Brogs and the other people came with their, like, we're gonna come here to this place that we found, I thought there was, like, a squad of many different people who were already kind of organized there, but didn't have the numbers to populate the place as a city like it is now.
The only people living there then and now are the
Were
people who are willing to disrespect what was there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's
and
a temple.
I understand now.
Yeah, like if you built a...
Because before I thought even all of the writers didn't understand
built a favela on top of Chichen Itza.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Or even the pyramid with the
Chichen
widest
Itza.
diameter in the world in Mexico.
Yeah, that's what
that
I'm thinking. Or
had
that
a
place that
church
has the...
built on top of it because they thought it was a hill.
Right.
Yes.
And nobody could build a pyramid
that
this
place
wide.
with the Temple of Quetzalcoatl. Like if
that's exactly the place.
Like if
I
you
was
were selling
just
ice
talking
cream
about.
out of that.
You're right. If you turn that into a burger
that happened
king.
in real
Burger
life.
King, right?
That happened in real life. The Catholic Church found this gigantic hill, and they were like, "Hey, let's put a church on it because God and hill and awesome."
It
And
turns
then-
out a lot of the American South has been doing the same thing for thousands of years.
Oh yeah, no, I know.
Mounds.
No, it was funny that it was so overtaken that it looked like a
One of the
hill, and
world's
then they
largest was
broke
found in
into
Georgia a
it.
couple years
Yeah,
ago.
yes.
It's so large that they didn't realize is what they were looking at for my entire life.
Yeah, it was a mound
Exactly.
though, Native American mound.
Yeah.
Giant one.
It's actually an Anasazi Mound, but
Really?
yeah.
Is it the one that had to do with the big city?
Yeah, it's the largest. They think it's the largest North American
Chicken
settlement
pizza.
ever. Right?
That's
I
cool.
remember that.
Yeah.
But like so large that they didn't like
They didn't see it.
there
Yeah.
was a soccer field and like a school on it.
Oh.
Like it was.
So-
yeah.
If they were all undesirables, wouldn't actually no, I'm assuming their culture. Never mind. I won't because I understand the kind of place that you're
Assuming
talking about.
cultures.
And what it's like from other things that I've seen before. What I'm looking for, right, is a mercenary group that's outside of the Aldbors or somebody who. So I know they all came there, right?
Yeah.
But somebody who came there recently, right?
Somebody
like,
would think of the Old Wars as a Howley.
So yes, that's exactly what I mean. Somebody that if you were a business owner and you hired this group to defend your house, right? But you had 2 bodyguards on you because the guys who you hired to defend your house came here in search of money and other shit like this, and these guys have been here since Kongarai has sort of been established as a place for business and other things like that. Is there a highly trusted, efficient group of mercenaries in Kongarai that like the ritzy buy for like bodyguards on themselves? So like if you're a rich trader in silks, you always hire this guy right here because they will take your coin and they'll do whatever the fuck you say until you leave.
Not that I have written.
Okay.
Not specifically that I have written. I'm sure there is a most trusted mercenary group
Yeah, of
at any given
Kongarai.
time
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
that probably shifts with time and scandal.
You know, Kongarai is that
Reputation,
place.
yeah.
I instantly I made the false correlation. I instantly grasped longest history for reputation.
Well, you know, is there a Wells Fargo? Is there a Brinks? You know,
A Pinkerton.
a Pinkertons?
Exactly.
I'm sure at any given time, but I haven't given any of them a Goravi name or even a Greyshore name.
Yeah.
I haven't named one. I haven't really written a lot of stories in Kongarai right now. Only, you know, so I haven't spent a lot of time doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. With a lot of lore, but not a lot of modern.
Not a lot of modern, yeah.
I feel like it's sort of like Casablanca in that old movie, right? Like it's the place where people go when they can't be anywhere else.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's the place in the shadow of other places.
Yeah, I agree. You sort of go there to disappear.
Right. It's the cracks you fall through.
The cracks you fall into. Yep.
Okay.
I agree with that. Do you have any questions? It's 420 chicken pizza. Like New Jersey.
Exactly.
Kiss your honey where it smells funny. Take her to New Jersey.
It is warm.
It is. It's
It
a hot one.
is.
It's a hot one.
It doesn't look like there are any more questions, and I don't have any more questions.
No?
No.
Well, then. You guys want to talk dude for a little bit?
I talked dude for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many tiles are left? We're working on the fire temple, right?
Yes. What is the total number of tiles necessary if there is one of each of the templates? Because that's what I'm doing.
I think it's like
30?
30, 32, something like that.
So I probably have 20 left, but I've gotten to where I can do 3 or 4 in a day.
It's not bad.
Depending on the day.
Yeah.
Though last week when I was getting up to speed, again I had to take all day Thursday and go sling pizza, or not pizza. My old food brain coming back in. Sling Cubans. We make good Cubans, by the way. Pretty good. I intend to build Hexen. It's tomorrow, Wednesday.
Yep.
Tomorrow in the afternoon, and then Thursday as well during the day. And I will likely stream both of those episodes. So that's my hex plan going forward. Because we can get a full set of hexes. We can generate a full level.
Yeah,
you can run around in it.
Be art right. Yeah. I mean, we can generate a full level right now. It's just
we could
blank hexes.
but it would be blank hexen.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really my focus is bust out those tiles. Probably do a little more of that tonight too, depending on how much time I have between now and later.
Zero.
That's funny. Chicken pizza. You can call it chicken
Oh
pizza.
yeah, you know another thing I did was get us set up on the Steams so that
That's
we can actually,
right.
that we can actually ship dude.
That's
Sadly,
that's
it's only dude. We'll have to drop another $100 every time we ship something.
yeah. It's $100 per title, right?
Yeah.
Still, that's not that bad.
No, that actually is not bad at all. In fact,
Yeah.
I'd argue that I don't know that Steam Direct is actually fixing their problems at that price point. But
I agree. Yeah, if all you got to make is $100, you can ship shit.
yeah.
Not that I intend.
Well, not only that, if you sell $1,000 worth of stuff, you
Yeah.
get that $100 back.
Oh, wow.
So it's not going to prevent
No,
$4.99, $1.99.
No.
Like,
it's just not.
right. Like, so I don't understand.
No.
I'm all for it
Zero.
because it makes things easy.
Oh, it makes
I don't
stuff
have
easy
to-
for
I don't have
us,
to
right.
greenlight, right? Like, that's awesome.
I don't think so anyway.
Not yet.
Not yet.
So they have to verify our tax
ID?
info, which they says takes about 2 to 3 days. But then we could stand up a site immediately. But I think we have to get like some video. We got to write some copy. We got to decide how we're going to ship it. If we're going to be early access, and we have to decide when we're going to be early access. All that kind of stuff. So it'll be visible on Steam probably like 3 weeks from now or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
indeed.
But yeah, all that, like, it's kind of funny actually because of our consultancy. We're linked as Steam developers for
Ages.
multiple
Yeah.
publishers, in fact.
Yeah.
So I'm like, here's my $100. They're like, no problem, dude. Wormbite can ship a game anytime it wants. I'm like, whoa,
No!
back that up, back that up. So I actually started this process the day they switched over, but because I had to get them to refund that purchase, get me out of Wormbite and set us back up at Skyward, I had to redo the whole thing. But I did that yesterday.
Yep. I saw it.
Hell yeah. Get you guys all added as soon as we get unlocked and all that stuff.
Sweet. Yep. Also set up workplace, Facebook for work.
Oh yeah, but that's just
Fun stuff.
yeah. Well, it's work. It's
Yeah.
fun stuff.
Yeah. Tertiary.
Black markets, a missed opportunity, a widow. Damn, Zero, what are you up to?
Yikes.
Don't miss that opportunity. Or maybe do.
Or
if you don't
do.
want to leave a widow.
Yeah.
It's an interesting reading.
He's like, should I invest?
But yeah, for people who don't exactly can do, we've kind of talked about it before, but just to give a really sort of quick recap, the idea is to take skills that we have, assets that we've collected over the years, and just sort of build a game for this idea that we had, sort of a fantasy shooter based on stuff we've worked on before, but
Yeah.
like with some cool
Twists.
tie-ins and
Yeah.
a bunch of other stuff. And
Modernization's a bit.
so our plan is to build this game out to the point where it's playable, stand it up on Steam probably as an early access title,
Right.
and then begin looking for partners to push it forward. And if that doesn't work, we'll kickstart the 3 months we have left to work on it or whatever.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right, which is, 3 months at what it takes to run these two households, which is
is
a reasonable
not-
budget overall.
Not that bad.
Yeah. Maybe something you could hit, because a lot of Kickstarters are kind of high. And
But it's something that we've had clients hit before.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You know.
For sure.
But yeah, so that's our plan, and that's kind of why we're doing it. Since funding is tight for the studio right now, we're sort of pivoting our efforts to make sure that we're focusing on stuff that
Will be
that can immediately
It can fund the studio.
recognize a gain of
Right.
some sort. And having a playable product allows us to do things like get in front of publishers or get in front of crowdfunding or
Yep.
any of that kind of stuff, which we can't exactly do with what we have with Telestin right now.
right.
Though we will likely do the same thing with Telestin when each of these gets to that point.
Oh, I'm working on glyphs for the Telestin.
Oh yeah, for the
Thing I
sigils?
forgot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
hell
sigils. Yeah.
Hell yeah. But yeah, so Telestin's time will come too. We're not abandoning Telestin or anything like that at all.
Absolutely
We're
not.
just focusing on keeping that effort alive.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But yeah, I guess if we don't have any other questions, we could call it a day.
Yeah, we'll have to slide over to the Discord eventually and figure out our reschedule.
Yes.
Yeah. I'll leave that up to you, but
Yep.
I'm open. So.
Okay. I'll be talking to you.
Yeah, I actually think your schedule is more restricted than mine right now.
It is. My schedule's kind of fuckety right now
Most
for
of
the next few days.
Most of the gig work I'm doing is on my schedule. So
Yeah. I have a commissary time tomorrow morning, and then a photographer meetup, and then photos be taken. And during the photo taking time, I don't have to be there. Hands off. I'll be building hexes, probably on this channel.
I'm recording the first episode of my
Instructional video.
instructional course tomorrow. Yeah,
Nice.
sadly down here in the heat.
Mm.
At least there's no cameras; they won't see me sweating my ass off.
No, they just hear the dulcet tones
Right.
of your voice.
But I can't have the fan on for that because it has to be a super high quality recording. So
Right.
Yeah.
I'll be like, I'm floating in the sweat off my belly.
Belly. My belly.
Yeah, it'll be fun though.
Sweet.
Yeah, well, and keep my lights on. So.
Mm-hmm.
Like you do.
Hell yeah. Well, all right. Thursday, I'll be back here on this channel Thursday night streaming my stuff. You said you were probably going to stream a little bit either
Yep.
tomorrow night or
Wednesday and
during the
Thursday,
day.
probably in the afternoon to evenings. I'm gonna go for both days. If
I might swap
miss
you. If your
somebody,
commissary time is in the morning, maybe I'll stream some dude development in the morning and then switch to being recording at night because it won't be as warm. So
that's true. Yeah, and I'll be doing
I
hexes.
might do that because I could stream dev from upstairs in the AC.
That's true.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll stream tomorrow.
So there you go. I'll be streaming. I'll be streaming.
Well, all right, everybody. In that case, we will see you all later. Thanks for hanging out. We will talk to you then.
Yeah.
The bumpers are great.